hate to break it to you, but the cost of living in San Antonio isn't as costly as it's been in the past. Now, I'm not just saying that based on my bills going up or the simple fact that it is summertime and the days are longer, it's so much hotter, and we're having so many triple-digit days. I'm actually going to show you how the cost of San Antonio is going up on the homes, the food, the utilities, the groceries. So we're actually going to cover a lot on the cost of living out here in San Antonio, Texas in 2022 right now. Hey y'all, my name is Mina and I'm a real estate agent here in San Antonio, Texas. Now, I love to talk about everything from real estate, the military, the weather, the food, the city events, really anything that has anything to do with San Antonio, I'm going to talk about it here. Now, if that sounds like something that would really interest you and you want to learn more, go ahead and hit that like button, go ahead and smash that subscribe button, and go ahead and tap that notification bell. And anytime I put out a new video on this channel, you'll be notified. And now look, we have so many people reaching out every single day and we absolutely love it. You can do the same thing too. All you have to do is send us a text, go ahead and give us a call, go ahead and send us an email, or skip all of that and schedule your Zoom meeting in the link down below. Whatever your comfort level is, we've got your back when it comes to living in San Antonio, Texas. Like I was saying in the beginning, the cost of living is going up. We all know inflation is happening in 2022. The cost of fuel is up, food's up, groceries are up. San Antonio, though, is one of the most nation's lowest costs of living in comparison to many other major cities in the U.S. So take a look at New York or Miami and you'll see the cost of living, the difference coming back and forth. So let's take a look and see how much it costs to buy a home and what does it cost to rent a home in San Antonio. So we're going to discuss both of those here. So according to SABOR, which is our San Antonio Board of Realtors, and the Real Estate Center at Texas A&M University, in this year of June of 2022, buying a home in San Antonio costs folks a median price of $348,200. Now, a year ago, back in May of 2021, homes sold for $280,600. So this is up more than 20% compared to the homes that sold from the year prior. Homes now, on average, are selling at about $179 a square foot, and they're selling after about 29 days on the market in comparison to 34 days last year. And this year in June, we sold 3,674 homes for the month. It was wild. So San Antonio is still currently sitting with roughly 2.3 months worth of homes for sale on the market. And on average, this month in June, homes sold for $400,876 in Bexar County, according to the SABOR market report. So it's really a quite substantial jump. So there's a lot less inventory for sale happening, and it's making the market still a seller's market as prices slowly continue to rise and there's not a lot of homes for sale. So let's go ahead and shift over to the rental market now, and let's talk about rental homes. So the average cost of what you'll need to be prepared for when you're renting a home is actually pretty close to what it's like to purchase a home in comparison. So a year ago, it cost San Antonians an average of $1,648 a month to rent. And now in June of 2022, this year, it's $1,850 a month. So that's more than a 12% increase from 2021 to 2022. And you don't even think of all the other costs that you might incur when renting. So just depending on what area of town you are, the many amenities that you'd like, it can get really pricey depending on what your needs are. So you'll need to remind yourself you need the first month's rent, and you'll need the deposit, which is generally equal to the amount of the first month's rent. If you have any type of pets, be prepared to pay a pet deposit or some type of pet rent. So I've seen on average about $250 to $500 per pet when it comes to pet deposits. And those are non-refundable mostly. And on average, I've seen pet rent about $25 a month depending on the breed and the size. I've also seen as high as $55 a month for pet rent. So many rental homes and condo communities, they don't allow aggressive breeds, and some don't even allow pets. So that's really something that you have to consider. Other rental expenses you might incur would be renter's insurance. San Antonio's renter's insurance is actually 19% less than the national average. So you can check that all out on the U.S. Census Bureau. So on the national average, we pay about $159 a year, depending on assets and prices, of course. So, I mean, all of that's there's a lot that goes into that. So if you're looking to move to the Alamo City, you definitely shouldn't wait till the last minute to start looking. Call San Antonio home.
So one of my favorite things about San Antonio is the food establishments. Who doesn't love to eat, am I right? You can try some of the best foods here in the Alamo City. I'm talking about Tex-Mex, Latin food, barbecue, German, Italian, seafood, American food, Asian food, whatever your heart's desire, you can find it somewhere here in the Alamo City. Now, even though that might be your heart's desire, that heart's desire is going to cost you a little more this year in 2022. So this year, according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, they actually estimate the cost of 4 to 5% more when going out to eat this year. So every time you're paying that bill, just know it's costing you a little bit more. So restaurants usually charge about a 300% markup on its food when going out to eat. So the average cost of your meal is costing you in the Alamo City about $13.20 per person. Now, dinner for two is costing around $47 to $50, and that's not including a tip or if you have any types of special beverages or dessert or anything like that. So even a fast food meal, if you go to a place, with the Golden Arches or any place like that, on average, it's costing you $8.42 for a meal. And that's not if you're ordering off a special menu. So that's going to start adding up as you realize how much more it's costing you to pay when you go out to eat in the Alamo City. Now let's get over to cost number 3 in the Alamo City, and we're going to talk about the utilities. So utilities like the water, the electric, and the internet is what we're going to discuss. So let's go ahead and kick it off with the first utility in San Antonio, and it's water. Water is life, am I right? So San Antonio has one water company available, and that's SAWS, and it actually stands for San Antonio Water System. So they also handle the sewage. So when you're getting your water bill and you want to find out what the cost of an average bill is, you can actually go to their website and pull up their calculator. They have a prediction calculator based on a family 4, 6, 8, whatever you've got, how much water you use by looking at your old water bills and seeing how many gallons you've used, and run a simulation and see how much that would cost you. So I ran a simulation on a family of 4 using on average of 10,000 gallons a month, and that was looking at about $129.90. So something you should know is that SAWS has not increased their prices since 2020, and they actually have it stated on their website that they are not having an increase for 2022, which is really great. So do make sure you look at the bill and find all your fees and see what it's actually costing you when it comes to servicing your water bill for the size of family that you have. So now we're going to go ahead and switch over to your electric bill. So what does an average electric bill look like here in San Antonio? So we do only have one electric company in San Antonio, and that's CPS Electric. So knowing that you have no other places to shop and it's just the one location here right inside San Antonio, you'll have to go to their website and see what the average cost will cost to run in your home. So according to CPS's website in July of 2022, which is this month, the average cost kilowatt was costing residential customers 14.2 cents a kilowatt. So the current 12-month average is about 12.3 cents per kilowatt, and that's based on 12 months a calendar year. So again, you can go to the CPS calculator and determine how much electric you could potentially use by pulling one of your old bills and running that through the simulation calculator and getting an average on how much it's going to cost you. So I know summer bills are looking really, really high right now. I mean, I'm seeing low 3s, low 4s. I've heard high 5s. And then in the lower months, we're looking at like mid 2s, on a smaller home. If you're consuming under 1,500 kilowatts, your actually bills looking in the low 200s, high 100s in the non-summer months. So just take a look and see what the CPS calculator has for you, and you'll see, living here in the Alamo City, the cost and the increases on what it's costing you to run a kilowatt, keeping your house electric, hot, cold, all the good stuff that you need electric for. We don't want to live by candlelight, am I right? So we'll go ahead and skip over now to the trash. So the city of San Antonio actually takes care of the trash, and depending on the size of the trash that you have, not the trash, but the cans, there's different size cans that you can get. You're looking at $18 to $30 a month, depending on the size of the receptacle that you want to use of every month. So they actually charge your fee for your trash on your CPS electric bill. So you'll also see on the CPS line, a charge for the trash. So if you don't live where the city actually picks up the trash, then there's actually other carriers in San Antonio like C6 Tiger Waste, and all you have to do is contact them and set up services, and they'll let you know what it's going to cost and how many times a week they'll come pick up your trash. Now let's go ahead and skip over to the internet. Who doesn't love internet? Most of us work from home, or most of us want to work from home, am I right? So nowadays we need that internet. So kids are going to school online and so many activities are going on. You really want some lightning fast internet. So some of the choices you can have here in the Alamo City, depending on what you're willing to spend. I mean, you could be looking at Google Fiber, which is one of the new ones here in the city. There's also Spectrum, and you also have AT&T. So depending on which conglomerate you really want to hook yourself up with, I mean, you're going to have to check the charges for the bandwidth and the internet plans and the fees, because they're all different. They all really do have super fast internet. So it's just really choice at the end of the day, what suits you well, what you're willing to pay, and what works on your budget. So I know from AT&T's website, because I just took a peek at some of the websites just to kind of take a look and see what's an average costing for the internet to run now. So AT&T is sitting on an average of $55 a month, and that's not including fees, and that's just bare bones internet. You can bundle it up, add your phone, your internet, your TV, and probably get a lot less costs, out of, in the long run for it. So it's really subjectional on how you want to spend your money on internet, right? At the end of the day. So yeah, so that's what it comes down to here in the Alamo City, San Antonio. And this is cost number 3, utilities. So grocery shopping bills have increased in 2022 big time. So this is cost number 4 in San Antonio, grocery shopping. So you can feel it, right? And see it when you go to your grocery bill. I mean, the meats are more expensive, the dairy products are more expensive, so inflated, I'm telling you. And this is largely due because the pandemic is what we're being told. So due to the lack of inventory and supplies and transportation available, grocery shopping in San Antonio is really different than other parts of the United States. So we don't have all the major food chains that most cities have, like Kroger's and Safeway and Fry's and Wegmans to shop from. So San Antonio does have Sprouts, okay? I love going to Sprouts. We also have Whole Foods. We also have Costco. We have Walmart and Target, but our major grocery chain in the Alamo City is H-E-B. That's right, it's H-E-B, not Heb, as most people call it when they first moved to San Antonio, but it's actually H-E-B. And they own Central Market as well. So they actually really offer high quality products for really good prices, and they're a major staple here in San Antonio. So I know every time I go to the grocery store, I buy a lot of organic and non-GMO products. So it does cost me a little bit more. So how much did grocery bills go up in 2022? So according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the consumer price index for food was actually up 6.4%. So last year, a steak cost you $16.47 per pound, and then this year it's up 32%. So now you're paying $21.62 per pound just a year later. So if you are eating organic foods and non-GMO foods and meats, like we do, we actually saw an increase of $55 on our grocery bill when it came to checkout from one month to the next. So on average, anywhere between, you're spending more between $20 and $55 depending on the types of food you eat. And I've also noticed that the product is getting a lot smaller and you're spending a lot more, and you're really, at the end of the day, it seems like you're getting a lot less. So I feel like when I'm walking with my grocery cart out the store, I'm getting a lot less food. So cost of groceries in the Alamo City have gone up. So that's cost number 4 when it comes to cost of living in San Antonio, Texas. So did the taxes on homes rise in 2022? Heck yeah, they did. So with some homeowners, we're seeing more than a 23% increase in property taxes in 2022. This is unprecedented tax increase on homes. I mean, an average in the Alamo City has been 5 to 7% a year. So seeing some owners 23% in increases, it's just out of sight. I mean, it's crazy. So due to this economic boom in housing, the San Antonio City Council actually approved raising the homestead exemption here in the Alamo City, which is really great. So we're talking about a minimum of 0.01% or $5,000 up to 10% of the home's value. So now let's talk about senior citizens and disabled homeowners. So they've actually increased the exemption for disabled homeowners, which is great, from $12,500 to $85,000. And for senior citizens, they have increased it from 65,000 to 85,000. So this is really helping San Antonians get a break when it comes to their property taxes. Is really helping us alleviate some of the inflation fees that we're feeling all over the city. Thank goodness. So let's talk about San Antonio's city sales tax. The sales tax still remains the same. You're still paying 8.25% on all goods and services throughout the Alamo City. Are you wondering, what does it cost to get around San Antonio? Is there a subway? Is there a light rail? An Uber? A Lyft? A bus line? Is it better to drive? How long does it take for me to get places around San Antonio, am I right? So those are all really great questions, and I have the answers for you. So no, San Antonio does not have a subway or a light rail. San Antonio is really big on shared ride services, such as using the Uber and the Lyft. When you're taking Uber or Lyft, you have to think about what the average cost per mile is going to be. So generally, on average, it'll run you $1 to $2 a mile. And remind yourself, you have to go each way, right? You got to go, you got to come back. So whatever it's costing you to go there, it's going to cost you to come back. And not only that, you have to leave a tip. Right? You don't want to get any negative feedback from the driver, because then no one will pick you up, and then what's the point of using shared ride services, okay? So our main transportation here in the city is the Via bus line. Now the Via bus line has 525 buses, and they run all over the city. We currently now have 7 convenient park and rides. So what's a park and ride or park and ride? So you go park your car there, take all your belongings with you, make sure to lock your car, take your keys, and save major gas, right? Save money on gas, leave your car there all day, jump on the bus. It's a nominal $1.30 each way. So think about the time you're sitting on the road, letting the gas tank run, sitting in traffic, or just go park at the park and ride, jump on the bus, and take a $2.60 ride to work and back. Think of all the money you'll save on gas. Now, the average commute in San Antonio happens to be 25 minutes, so think about that. Well, no matter how you look at it, the cost of medical care has gone up drastically since the pandemic. And many folks don't have insurance or can't afford insurance, or they're paying really high premiums and deductibles. So if you're self-employed, let me take a quick gander at that one, because I recently just went through my own little fun doozy here. So I went to the Affordable Care Act to search the government website for healthcare insurances. I wanted to see what I could get that was in comparison to when I had my PPO. Now, I just recently hurt my left knee when I was working out and hurt my ACL. So I thought, okay, who am I going to be able to, who's going to see me, right? I'm going to have to be a private pay, or I'm going to have to go get this Affordable Care Act insurance. Well, everybody wanted me to wait. And then I found out that I was going to have like a $15,000 deductible. And then on top of it, it's income sensitive. So for 2 people, they wanted $1,400 for 2 people. And that wasn't including hitting my deductible or paying any type of monthly copays or anything, any visits. And so I figured, what's my next step, right? So I went to the medical websites and I found out that they have to disclose what their price is for all their visits, their surgeries, their repairs, everything. And everything's on a discounted fee table. So does that mean I'm going to get less medical care if I'm paying out of pocket and making payments? Or am I going to get better medical care if I go on this HMO and pay, $15,000 for the same type of care? I don't know. Nonetheless, any way I look at it, I felt like everything costs a lot more, and I didn't really know which way to navigate it at that point. So talking to some of my peers who actually have medical insurance, and, depending on where they're living, depending on your age, where you live, and a bunch of other factors, however the healthcare, decides to add up the cost of your monthly insurance. So what we did is I went to the U.S. Census Bureau and I went to see what does it cost a family of 4, 2 adults, 2 kids, on average in San Antonio. And of course, it didn't state the provider, the health, or the age or the location, but just the overall average in San Antonio. Folks were paying a premium of $1,849 a month. That's $1,849 a month. And that's not including all those out-of-pocket expenses like the deductibles or the co-pays for when you need to go get medicine or anything like that. And they actually reported an increase of 2% on premiums. So now you're paying 2% more on your monthly premiums when you're getting medical care, medical insurance, period. So when the pandemic happened, and the cost of supplies and everything went up, they finally increased the Medicare Part B. So back in 2021, Medicare Part B was at $148.50, and this year they raised it to $170.10. So that is letting us know, hey, things are costing more, and they're showing that based on the spending trends of what happened, and it was really driven by the pandemic. So are the costs of medical care going up in San Antonio? You bet they are. Get ready and listen up now, because we're about to talk about childcare, cost number 8 in the Alamo City. So how long are the wait lists? What are the costs? And how do you search what daycare is the best? Well, you better be really prepared and search months in advance, as many daycares have a 3 to 12 month waiting list, I found out recently. The average wait time list for age group from birth to year 1 is 9 to 12 months. Now, how do I know this? Well, my nephew recently has been on a waiting list for 9 months to get into prep. So he's recently 14 months old, so he's been waiting 9 months to get into daycare. So, of course, now how long is the wait list? It really all depends on the age of your child, what daycare your kid goes to, where the location's at, and where you want them to go. So, to get your child into daycare prep or some type of privatized care, most locations run from Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., so that's telling you right there what your work week looks like. An average price of 5 days a week for full-time care was $1,100 to $1,500 a month, depending on where you were taking your child. Part-time care, we noticed, was from 3 days a week, and you were looking at $800 to about $1,060. And some locations will take them for 2 days a week, and that was averaging between $600 and $998. So, I mean, it just really depends on where you want your kiddo to go, when you're able to start them, and you need to pay a spot fee retainer in most places to hold your child's spot. So if it's 9 months out, you'll be paying anywhere between $150 to $300 as an enrollment hold spot. And if you do decide to quit and walk away, most of the times that money is not refundable. They do have other fees that you'll pay for your child to go to daycare school, like school supplies, camp fees, food fees. So be ready and looking months in advance for daycares when it comes to living here in San Antonio. If you want a list of some daycares that we recently interviewed around San Antonio, go ahead and reach out to us by giving us a call, sending us a text, an email, or go ahead and schedule a Zoom link down below. And lastly, we can't forget schools. So San Antonio is filled with higher learning all over the Alamo City. And just like everything else, the costs are slowly creeping up with inflation. So during the pandemic, many of the dorms, the classrooms, and businesses and food establishments, right, everything was empty. And as COVID kept students home, many were working from home as well. So in 2021-2022, the average tuition and fees for colleges here in San Antonio for in-state was $5,585, and for out-of-state, it was $17,510. Now that was lower than the national average, but this year in 2022, San Antonio is reporting $6,682 for in-state and $18,061 for out-of-state students. The most expensive school here in the Alamo City happens to be Trinity University, and their fees will cost you $47,392 a year. Now, the most affordable here in the Alamo City would be the Alamo College system, so schools such as Northwest Vista, St. Philip's. The lowest tuition and fees will cost you around $6,592 here in San Antonio, Texas. I just gave you the cost of living right here in San Antonio, Texas, keeping it real with you, letting you know what the cost is to buy a home, rent a home, go out to eat, utilities, grocery shopping, taxes, and all these other things you'll most likely experience if you're making your move out to San Antonio, Texas. Now look, if you've made it this far and you haven't hit that like button, please do so. It's going to help anybody else find these helpful videos. Hit the subscribe button or tap that notification bell and you'll get notified anytime we put out a new video on this channel. Now, like I said in the beginning of this video, we get so many people reaching out that are already thinking about moving, determined to make the move, or they're already here and they're just trying to find a place that best fits their lifestyle. Whatever the case may be, whichever one you fall under, just go ahead and reach out to us. Send us a text, give us a call, shoot us an email, tap on my calendar link, set up a Zoom call. However you want to get a hold of us, we've got your back when it comes to living in San Antonio. Now make sure you check out our other videos that we do have. We are out in the communities. We're checking out new home construction. We're going out into the communities, visiting the food locations, the new shopping centers, checking out the military bases and everything that's new and up and coming. So if you want to learn more, go ahead and tap the videos that are coming up here, and we hope to see you out in the Alamo City.